Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. $168 billion is the market cap. Bitcoin hovering around 5,800. Ethereum, all the other coins basically waiting. This fork coming up is more of a hazard than any other fork that we've experienced, and it's not really affecting the price at all. People's confidence in the core team of Bitcoin is pretty much at an all-time high, and Bitcoin dominance is still well over 50%. So really just strong news. I'm anxious to see what happens towards Christmas, the end of the year, beginning of next year. Really anxious to see what happens after we shed, because I think we're going to go through like a little fork phase, and you're going to see a lot of humor going around, a lot of jokes on videos about all the different kind of Bitcoins that are coming out, because it's just kind of a clown show now. Just people coming out with all kinds of pre-mined forks left and right. So it's become a joke, and that's fine. The network effect of Bitcoin is just very, very strong. We're starting to see. It was funny because Bitcoin Cash had a little rally. Bitcoin Cash is still different than all these other forks because they had the mining community, and obviously they had Roger Ver. I mean, that was basically the big thing. Roger Ver putting his stamp of approval on it. But all these other ones, Bitcoin Gold and the rest of them, not really that big of a deal. And so many new people are getting into crypto. My friend was watching my video for the first time, and he was like, man, yeah, I learned a lot. He's like, the only thing is, he's like, man, if you ever want to go mainstream, you need to maybe chill out on the cussing, and you need to, maybe not be so passionate about what side you're on. Like, he's like, if you pick a side of anything, you're going to burn half the viewers, and then with you constantly picking sides, you're just going to be constantly burning half your viewers. And I understood his concept. I was thinking, like, I was trying, because I don't ever hear something and just right away dismiss it. Like, I don't do that. I don't really dismiss anything. I always dissect it to its core and see the heartbeat. But I was trying to understand, and basically it's like, yeah, that's the right blueprint if you want to have a lot of views. Like, that's a way to hedge yourself against losing viewers. I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if everyone's doing that, then you're just going to have a bunch of lame asses. I was like, I'm humble enough to know that, yeah, I have, a little bit, 3,000 subscribers ain't shit. But I'm humble enough to know I wouldn't have 100 subscribers if I wasn't myself. Like, if I was trying to be proper or whatever it is, like, hedge what I say and hedge my ideals for the sake of, viewers not getting their feelings hurt, I wouldn't fucking, I wouldn't have 100 views. So it's like, yeah, I'm humble enough to like realize like I am who I am, and there's gonna always, that's the cool thing about life, man. If you are who you are and you fucking put it out there, you're gonna have a following. Like, people are gonna respect you for who you are because you are who you are. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're just true to yourself, and especially if you're constantly improving yourself, your mental health and all that stuff. But yeah, so I was just trying to, and I woke him up to the awareness. It's like, stop asking, it's like, man, really don't, because he was asking like what coins and all this, and I can just see like the tippy toes, like people just tipping in. And it's like, man, do the research, and like, don't be afraid to be wrong. Like, a lot of people, they talk about their cryptocurrencies. They're like, hey man, I'm going to get into this, I'm going to get in that. And the guy like really doesn't like publicly saying what he's going to get into, because he doesn't want to look bad if it goes down, right? Because, he has some status, he has a lot of people that respect him. I'm talking about my friend I was talking to, and he's the one trying to give me advice on how to get a mass adoption. I was like, I'm not really interested in that. Like, I'm really not I don't do my videos for anyone. Like I said, this is a documentary of my journey, and I just want to look back when I have billions of dollars and be like, man, look where I started. Like, I remember that day when, that was a hard day for me, or that was a good day for me. So yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. But I was talking to him, and like even him with his status and all that, just kind of, it's like, man, I don't know. I feel so free, I guess, because I don't care. Like I'm going to pick and do what the fuck I want. And I don't care if I look wrong, right, whatever the fuck, because if I'm right, then awesome. If I'm wrong, then awesome, because I get to learn. It's always about, I savor those losses because they're far and fewer between now. And it's really a learning experience every single time. Like I always dissect, why did I get lost? A lot of people will be like, man, they'll buy a coin and it'll be in the red for months and months and months, and some of them will sell for a loss or whatever. But they just look at it as a negative and move on. Like I'm all over that situation. I'm all over like what happened, why did it happen, how do I not repeat it? Or if I do repeat it, how do I repeat it in a way where I'm going to learn something? Because sometimes I'm going to travel down a path that is rocky and I don't know if I can make it to the other side. And I know there's probably a mistake happening, and I'm waiting for the mistake to happen so I can learn. That's just how it is. Like the quicker you get through all that shit, the better. Like the business I run now, I don't even like calling it a business, just what I'm doing now. The thing is, I'm surrounding myself with great people, but it's nothing I can't do that I haven't done. Like every single person that's on my team, I can do their job backwards with my hands tied. I've done it. When I came up, I did everything. It's kind of like if you're a cook of a restaurant and you don't have a janitor, you don't have anything. You're in there fixing the stove, mopping the toilets, cooking the food, after you clean your hands, of course, in this analogy. But it's just about getting your hands dirty. And that also gives me the fear of, or loses the fear of, if someone's like, well, I want to go. It's like, peace. I don't need you. I've been there. I've done that. So it's a really good way to master everything. So you don't have to hedge against anything. No one has anything over you ever. I always like to have a life with no strings attached. Like I've been to the gutter. I have no fucking problem going back, or I have no problem owning the gutter because I own the street, or I own the whole entire city, whatever. Like that's my mentality. I also look at it kind of like a video game, and it's kind of like, hey, if you don't get to the end of this level, you die. But if you do, you win $1 million. And if you just sit there, you die. And I'm looking, and I was like, well, I don't want to just sit here and die. That'd be boring, which a lot of people do. They're 9 to 5. It just becomes easy because you get addicted to the comfort. But so you got to ask yourself, if you were playing yourself in a video game, how fucking boring or how fucking badass would it be? Right? Like if all you're doing is a 9 to 5 that you hate every single day, that would be a boring ass game. And then you ask yourself, would you even play that game? I mean, that's a pretty deep question, but it really comes down to it, because that's when people get regretful at the end of their life, when they fucking played a game for 90 years that they hated, and they're like, well, fuck, and I didn't even get the $1 million because I still just sat here, and now my time's about to run out. So I'm always going for it no matter what. Who gives a fuck? If you die, you die. Like, you won't remember it. You're going to be gone. If you have family, they're going to learn from your mistakes. I'm not saying if you have a family, go fucking crazy and do something. But, I'm just saying, like, the holding back is going to cripple you. It's going to cripple generations of your family. It's just going to keep teaching that same crippling sensation. So when I was down, I was like 300 pounds. I wasn't far removed from having to give away my dogs. I didn't have any money. I was down and out basically. And I had grinded on poker. I always knew poker was like a stepping stone. And it would have been real easy just to quit there, just to give up, because I had tried so hard for so long and I had just ate shit for so long. And then I realized that I had been an entrepreneur my entire life. So like, if poker didn't do it, I don't have any job history. I don't have any, I don't have no formal education, no job history. Imagine trying to go get a job and they look at your history and it's like, you never had a job? And like, it's real difficult, because when you have no kind of safety net, like I have very little family. Like I had no safety net really. And that really makes it a different level of game when like you can't afford your bills, you don't know where you're going to end up. And, you know, I have family I could fall back on, but, you know, that's not that, like, you know, very, very little family. But I still had that confidence even at the beginning of this year when I was at basically my lowest. What happened was I was 300 pounds and I was like, man, what am I going to do? Like, if poker doesn't work out, I have nothing. So I thought, you know what? I've never seen a ripped homeless person. I've never seen a homeless person with six-pack abs. And I was like, I got nothing. I have nothing to my name right now. And I'm going to fucking create something. So I just started lifting weights and losing the weight out of just a fierce desperation. Kind of like I wanted to engrave my degree on my body. So it's like, at least I have value. And no matter what, worst case scenario, I have something to fall back on. And I mastered weight loss. I learned every little aspect. And I ended up losing like 100 pounds in 4 months. Just by sharing my journey. I could easily, dude, you fucking kidding me? I could easily charge $1,000 an hour. Easily. I have people who will comment in the comments who offered that. They, you know, I don't say anything publicly, but I get offered that all the time. Like, I could, for all the advice I give away, I can easily charge for it, but I don't do it. I did it for weight loss eventually when I first started, but that was just because people, I was up talking to this lady 11 o'clock at night, you know, walking her off, you know, 50-year-old lady, depressed, suicidal, overweight, hurt her joints. And like, I was like teaching her. And then it's like, basically like, you know, I have to pay you. I can't accept any more free advice. And that's kind of like how it started. And then before I knew it, I had more clients than I knew what to handle. And I had to actually start turning them down and stuff. But that's what happened. Like, I went from nothing, like having nothing. Like, I could understand where people could feel like, man, I've got this far in life. How the hell am I going to get through it? And sometimes you just have to start with nothing. You have shoelaces, tie them up, start running, start lifting some weights, start mastering something in some form. You know, that's one thing. Knowledge is free if you take it. It's out there. Google, you can really learn anything. Master it, give it away for free, build connections. And that's kind of how I gained myself out of the hole. And it's funny saying that because, you know, looking at the Crypto Daily video, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. It looks like I could lose about 3-4 cameras. So I might do like a vlog thing. I'm not sure with the weight loss, but I'm going to get down to 7% body fat. I need to lose probably about 30 pounds. So it's easy to get that way when you're focused on one thing. And I quote unquote was bulking for a while. But, you know, it's going to look nice once I shed it. So yeah, probably gonna start this show that journey. Man, with $100, a will to succeed, and the good thing about working out is it gives you something to build on while you're waiting for your wealth, while you're building your cash. It gives you something to build on in the background because you always have some kind of intrinsic value. I hate the word intrinsic value, but you have natural value when you take care of your body and you look good, and you're healthy, and you're strong. It sends a different message to not just the people around you, but the fucking universe, right? That you're controlling what you can control. And then once you master controlling what you can control, you start to control more and more. You start to be able to get at least a grip on more and more things. And before you know it, when you have a grip on something, you can kind of, you know, change the tide, so to speak, put things in your favor. So just really, it's amazing what you can do now. What you can just declare it a new day. Say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to become a fucking, you know, a scientist. I'm going to become a health expert. I'm become a motivational speaker. I'm going to do whatever it takes to create value. And what I like is doing something that I would naturally be Googling if I was bored. Now, if you're Googling cat pics and all that, there's still something there. That means you like pictures. That means you like sharing stories. Like, don't just dismiss whatever it is you're naturally inclined to look at. You want to kind of build around that and see why you build it, and then kind of find what makes you tick, because doing stuff for the money gets played after a while. It really does. I like creating value. I put people around me that like creating value. I like people, people who like doing something and seeing the ripple effect from it. Their work echoing. And yeah, just wanted to put that out there. It came across my mind. Looks like the Bitcoin volume was almost 4 billion 24-hour volume yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Now it's down to below 2 billion. Ethereum is low-ish for its standards. Zcash is really, really high. I just really feel like this is a good time, because what's going to happen is you had the altcoin boom because altcoins were worth nothing. And then the news came that, this one could be worth something. And then you had the overcorrection, people who overbought because, that's the thing about cryptocurrencies. There are no ceilings, so people don't know when to stop. There is no sign saying, stop buying here. This is the price. Like no one knows what anything's really worth right now. So it's really easy to overcorrect and undercorrect because people don't have a fucking guideline. It's just all blind. There's no history. So it's very easy for people to buy, on extreme swings. What is going to happen next, I believe, the altcoins that are going to survive, they're going to come out with their product, their new thing. They're going to work, right? District OX, you're going to start being able to use the districts, things built on Ethereum. Ethereum's going to scale, and, they're actually going to have use cases, and, people are actually going to be able to start using them, like Stratus next year will actually have their product. Things that are, and the masternode thing for Stratus, if you got $1 million, around $1 million, so 250,000 Stratus needed for a masternode that could drive the price up for the whales for $1 million. Either way, there's a lot of EOS when the platform comes out and you're actually able to build on it. There's just a lot. 10x even, when they actually get their scaling issue up, because you have to wait months and months for a card. When we start to see things actually being used, that's when we're going to have the next altcoin boom. So we're going to see, it's a really good idea, like something like gold, when they have like a major announcement, a major breakthrough, things, people, it's being used. You're going to start to see these altcoins that were quiet for a long time. Another boom. It's going to be like a giant spread out Batman head. And that's going to happen for a lot of the coins that are going to survive. If the coin's going to survive, it's going to go through another boom, in my opinion. So I would just definitely be on the lookout for the quiet coins. It's not about a month from now. It's not about 2 months from now. It's kind of, it's like right now is a time to be collecting. And yeah, if you go to my older videos and you want to trade, hold a nest egg, 50, 60% of your holdings, flip the other 40%, try to stay in the game, meaning buy low, sell high, that 40%, but always keep a nest egg just in case when you're messing with something that has no ceiling, you want to keep a nest egg because you don't want to start trading, sell here, buy here, sell here, and then it just goes way up here. And now you're shook out the game on your entire stack and you miss on a 500x or 200x or 100x or 50x. There's no ceiling, so anything could happen. So it's good to have a nest egg and then build. Go look at my June videos, July videos. You'll see, like, I break that down, how I trade or whatever. Like, there's a lot of info in there when it comes to that. And for the people who messaged me, I'm going to end it on this. I appreciate all the messages. I get a lot of long messages from a lot of people. And, it may just seem like I have a copy and paste message, but I read every word. Just at this point, I'm one person and, just getting completely swamped with a bunch of messages. All the interest is great. I've already filled. So, contact me in a few weeks. There might be some spots open. This is for the trading position. I'm going to start off with just a very, very small group, train them to be elite ninjas, and really see how profitable it is, if it's worth my time, if I can scale it, if it's actually doable, because it all sounds great on paper, right, guys? But, just like ICOs, it always sounds great on paper, but we got to put it to use, and I want to see how it actually works. And if I start to see it's actually making money, then it's making sense. I will go ahead and start scaling that one upward. But, you know, I love all the thing and all the people who apply for the, you know, the mentorship and all that. That's, you know, it's kind of like I'm a planet forming right now. And there's a lot of shit going around and things are starting to actually look like how they're supposed to look like. You know, we got the moon setting up. You know, we got the oceans setting up. Everything's starting to be good. So, you know, I'm also keeping note on who's been patient, who's doing what, who's putting in the work without permission. It's not about getting permission, guys. Like, I don't need permission to talk how I talk and be who I have to be. I didn't wake up one day and say, I wonder if I should cuss or not. I just got on the motherfucking mic and I just started letting loose, and I don't need permission from anybody to do a damn thing. And that's how people have to live. I don't need permission to buy No Limit Coin when it had no volume and no one knew about it. I didn't need that permission. I needed to look. There was no video on YouTube. There was no video. I was the very, very first ever video on No Limit Coin. I don't need permission for any of these investments that I get into. I don't care if no one else sees it. I don't need restrictions on what people see because your vision's restrictive. There's very few people who can see what I see. And if I'm looking through other people's eyes, I might as well have weighted ankle bracelets on and a weighted vest because it's going to weigh me down. I want to be free. I want to see what I want to see. And the thing about it is, if you're around people who are non-believers, people who don't have great vision, they're going to look at you like you're stupid. They're going to look at like you're insane. But the moment you start making lots of money, Batman heads sounds pretty motherfucking smart, right? You know, I can say whatever the fuck I want and it makes sense when you're actually putting it to practice and putting it to work. I just wanted to put that out there because it's like, whatever crazy ideas you have, don't hold back, right? I think, you know, when I talk about Batman heads and all this stuff, you know, people get a joke out of it. It's like, I'm fucking serious. When I'm looking at a motherfucking graph, I'm thinking in my head, there's a Batman head about to form. And I just came out and say that for funny or joke. That's just how I do things because it's fucking from my vision. I don't need permission to call it whatever I want to call it. And I want to see a lot of people going after life without needing permission, man. You don't need permission from anybody to be you. Be you as hard as you can be you and realize that no one else is going to help you be you. If anything, people are going to help you not be you because people don't know how to be you. So if you're constantly looking for advice and permission, you're never actually going to be yourself because people are going to put you into a cookie cutter of what they think you should be, but they don't know what the fuck a Batman is. They don't know what the fuck all these ups and downs, lure setting and spear fishing. They don't know about that because they're not me, and I don't know about what they know about. And I'm not trying to because I'm too busy being me. And I'd love to see a lot more people in cryptocurrencies in general having that same approach. And maybe we would have some more innovative coins being found because right now it's always what's hot. What is everyone else buying, right? There's not too many of these new left coins coming out of left field that we're finding that actually have true value because it just seems like the same. Oh, privacy coins, the hot coin of the month. Oh, masternode's the hot coin, right? And you see these people hopping trains, whatever's hot. So it would just be nice for people to actually dig down, do the research, and help the value finders bring the value coins to the light instead of trying to change the next pump. But I'm going to kill it there. Cheers. Peace.